Hi, I'm Lucas from Waldorf Music, and today I'm going to show you the basic operations of the Waldorf Quantum. This is the first video of a longer series called Focus on Quantum, where we are going to explain you all the details about this instrument. So, we have the Quantum here on the table. Let's get started. First, you've unwrapped your Quantum and now put it on a steady desk, a table, a stand, or whatever you prefer. First thing to do is plugging the connections in. We'll start by putting two standard TS audio cables into the main out. Also, you can use the headphones or you can use another audio cable pair on the aux out. Furthermore, you can link an external signal through Quantum by using the audio in. Here at the control and sustain you connect your pedals. And this is important. If you connect an expression pedal, this needs to be assigned in the modulation matrix, so keep an eye out for that. The SD card is there to save and load your patches and to update the firmware. The standard MIDI trio is here and of course the power cord connection. And next to the power cord there's a power switch. We are all set, so we are ready to go. Booting up Quantum takes like 10 seconds. While that you can watch the lights blinking. And for the moment we are all set up, so let's give it a go. Okay, Quantum just loads a patch at startup and yeah, so we can just play it right away. When you're just playing around, you can control the volume with this knob right here and the compressor with the knob next to it. If you're wondering why your sound might be distorted in some way, just turn the compressor knob to 0 and then you should be good. Note that these buttons are also read out when you change a patch or when you switch on Quantum for the first time, so any changes you made in between will be reflected in the parameters. Okay, let me give you a quick overview about all the features we have. More details of these will follow in later separate videos. At first, Quantum has 3 oscillators with 4 modes each. That's wavetable, waveform with virtual analog wave synthesis, particle with sampling and granular sampling, and the resonator. As you might have noted, the LEDs change depending on which oscillator mode you just selected. Furthermore, you have 6 LFOs, first 3 are up here, and 4, 5 and 6 are down here in the menu. Same goes for the envelopes, you have 6 of them as well. Then you have 5 effects. You have a modulation matrix with 40 slots and a complex modulator, which is an LFO with a waveform that you can draw yourself. And the most important for many people out there are the filters. You have 1 digital filter per voice and 2 analog filters per voice. And while playing, you can just twist the knob and see what happens. As you can see, you can also control the filters with the knob here and with the touch screen. And of course you have resonance and cutoff at 1 fingertip that you can control simultaneously. Now I've set the cutoff to a low value than what the knob is actually showing. And for this we've got a tiny neat feature. If I twist the knob now, you'll have 2 bars displayed down here. The blue one shows where the value is actually at the moment, and the red one is showing where the knob is. And if you twist it back and forth a couple of times, those 2 catch up with each other, and then the button will represent the value exactly all the time. In addition to all the knobs you have there at Quantum, you can use the encoders on the display, which change their function. They're always connected to the value in the box right next to it. So you can also control the resonance here. If this is too coarse for you, you can also change to fine or super fine, which gives you more accuracy about the value that you're currently changing. Furthermore, when you twist a knob, this window appears, which allows you to assign a MIDI CC if you press this little button on the box that pops up whenever you twist the knob. This box can also be called up for the boxes around the display by just pressing the box itself, and there it's MIDI learn CC. Let me show you the other buttons around the display. Load and save are possibly the one that you will use quite the most, and just press load, and then you can select the patch you want to load with either this one or by pressing a number. And with this patch, I want to show you what the button under it does. This is the mod button. If you want to make a modulation fast, use this one. Press the mod button once and then choose one of the encoders or potentiometers that are lit up in blue. For example, the analog filter cutoff, and I want to set the LFO1 to this one. So press mod, then gently wiggle the destination, and then add the source. And there you got your modulation. Can't be even faster than that. In order to use the pitch bend, the expression pedal, the modulation wheel, and some others, just use the encoders next to the display, twist them in the positive or the negative area as you like it, and there you got your other modulations. If you want to save your changes, simply press save, and there you go. There's the save dialog. You can either choose with the central wheel where you want to go to, or tap here and tap whatever number you want to have. For example, we're just using the 2000 here, return, and then press here, return of course, that's what I forgot, and then we can set another attribute, whatever you will like. For example, percussive or whatever you like, and then you can save, and this will save your patches to whatever you have. Okay, let's load another patch, and this time I'm just going to take number 7. Note that you can set an attribute filter. So for example, if you're using for drums, for granular, for lead or whatever, you can choose that in this menu, and then Quantum will only display these. But as currently I want to go to number 7 because I'm going to show you a few other things. The perform button contains some nifty features for your performance. This is a modulation pad. You can drag around this little square on screen, and this hands out 2 values which can be assigned in the modulation matrix. It also contains this sequencer. Now, this is one that I really like. This can have up to 32 steps. In regular mode it just contains the notes of the patch, but it can also control other features and other controls of your sound. Let me just demonstrate how it works. You just press one key, and then it goes on like that. You can even transpose. Okay, and here's one thing that makes life easier for you. If you just don't want to keep your finger pressed down all the time, you can conveniently use the chord or the latch mode. In this chord mode, Quantum will keep the last note or chord that you play and keep it on playing until you play a new one, and then the old is replaced with the new. And this is how it works. Okay, latch works in a similar way, but in this mode, note that is pressed once will be held until it is pressed again. Next one is the Arpeggiator. You can use a standard Arpeggiator here with different patterns. And there's the favorites list. This is important if you want to make a performance and call up patches immediately. You can set several sets here and then just choose any patch you like. And then it will be recalled by just one press of a button. This is important for fast recall during performances, and only these patches will respond to a program change parameter sent by MIDI. So if you have a patch called up that you want to insert here, choose a free slot, press and hold, and then you can assign the patch that you currently have loaded to the place where you just tapped on. This window can be called up from anywhere, for example from the mod matrix or wherever you are. Just push the central button and then you go back there again. Back to the other buttons. Here we have the previous and next. So to show you what's going on, I'm switching to the oscillator 2 page, and here you can just scroll through the patches that we have here by pressing Prev and next and go through whatever we offer. Remember that these buttons only choose the patch that is next in the load page. So if you have an attribute filter going on, which is filtering out the patches, you'll just be forwarded to the next patch in this list. Layer settings are made here. Quantum features a duo timbre mode, which allows you to either use one voice at a time or one timbre at the time, split or layer. These settings are made here in this window. And you can also prepare 2 layers and conveniently switch between those 2. The global knob leads to the settings menu of Quantum. Here you have a couple of other settings available and some nifty tools for analysis. For example, this one, it's the scope. This shows you waveform, either time waveform or an analyzer. With this one, you can tune Quantum, put a scale on, or even create your very own key map. In the MIDI settings, you can configure the inputs and the outputs. Note that these have to be switched to on, otherwise the inputs and outputs won't react to anything or won't send anything. In the settings window, you can dim the brightness of the LEDs and the screen separately from each other if that's too bright for you. Also, if you don't like the colors of the LEDs of these blocks, you can change them one by one, and the changes will also be reflected in the windows of the oscillators or in the other windows themselves. The System tab shows you some information, which version you're running on, and an odometer which shows you for how long Quantum has been switched on so far. Here you got the option to calibrate the wheels and the aftertouch and some more entities. You can send us a support log if something goes wrong. If Quantum happens to have a crash, which rarely occurs, you can use this to make us a log and send us this. This allows you to make our software even better and even more stable, so we encourage you to do it. If you have a new update for Quantum, you can play this in using this button here. We regularly update Quantum's firmware, and you should do that too as soon as we have it available on our website. Put the file from our website onto an SD card, put it in here, and then press this button to get it updated. From version 2 and onwards, you can also use a USB stick for this. And that's it for now. So, if you have any questions or need support, just go to our website, waldorfmusic.de, and go for the support and download section. There you can find the firmware update if there's a new one, you can find the manual, and you can find a comprehensive FAQ section which is very hands-on and which solves the most questions of you. Also, you have the option there to contact us if you have any further questions which can't be solved there. Okay, that's it for now. We finished the basic operations video on how to operate Quantum. This was the first video in a longer series called Focus on Quantum. Later, we are going to show you other parts of this synthesizer. As for now, thanks for watching and see you again next time. Bye!